Hey, and welcome to another fantastic day, another amazing beginning of a new week. I welcome you. My name is Ronnie Jacobs. Wherever you're watching from, any part of the world, I want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in, for your support and your messages and your prayers. And thank you for being alive. And thank you for facing your dreams and not giving up and keep driving and going and going. Suppose you're wondering, what is this I've got around my neck? Once in a while, I like to represent Eastern Africa, so Zimbabwe or Kenya, different items I was given. So I'm looking, there's another green one that I have. I'm looking for that one. So I'll try that next week. Okay, I'm Ronnie Jacobs, the presenter for the Ronnie J Show. Today we're talking about the value of time. Okay, we have some great guests with us today. Timothy will be joining us later. We have Trust, we have Sabrina, and then we have Dele. And the whole idea is just to use our education, our experience to be able to educate you and motivate you to help you to achieve your dreams. I know it's a very difficult time, challenging for different people, for different reasons, opportunities for others. It's quite funny where some people see challenges and problems, others see solutions and opportunities. So you start to ask yourself, I know it's challenging for quite a few people. I know that, so I'm not going to underestimate that. The whole situation, people have lost their jobs, lost opportunities, lost their business. So that is a massive pandemic and it's affected us all. However, we have to try and find a way of lifting our head over and out of the sinking ship, the sinking river, and try to forge ahead and go forward. As for us, I know how challenging it has been for me, but we just keep driving and we have to keep going. We have to look at every opportunity and every situation and try and make an opportunity out of that situation. That's the only language that I understand. There's so many languages, there's so many excuses, there's so many reasons not to do something. But I just feel that we have to find solutions in problems. We have to find solutions in difficult times. We have to find a way of getting things done when things are not supposed to be done. In an environment where people just can't seem to make sense of anything, we need to be able to make sense of something. So that gives us the edge. That gives us the added advantage, I feel. So in relation to the value of time, I say this because by African by origin, there is this common saying that there's this African time kind of thing, where people don't turn up on time and people come late, and it's just part of the culture. However, in developed countries and around the world, wherever we are as human beings, it is important that we place value on time. I'll give you a few reasons why I think so. I believe that if you appreciate and value time, you plan better. I really believe that. I believe that you plan better, you make less mistakes, and you execute things better and more fluently if you value time. I do events, loads of events, and one of the cardinal principles that I stand on is that if we say we start in at 2:00, we start at 2:00. And the reason I do that is, number one, you value time, you respect the people who are going to show up 10 minutes to 2, and you start at 2. You see, when you don't value time, just look at the ripple effect. I set my time to say, okay, I start at 2:00. And because I don't value my time, I slow in my preparation and planning for the show to start. I'm taking my time. I'm not getting everybody to look at that 2:00 as the kickoff time. So because I'm not getting everyone to look at that kickoff time, everyone who's at the event backstage or behind the scene, they also slow their pace. And they slow their pace because they feel that, okay, we still got time. We can still drag our feet. And that affects the people who it affects the next level. Those who are supposed to go and perform. So those who are supposed to go and perform now see that there's no pressure to start too. So they start to feel a little bit relaxed. So what happens is the whole day just feels relaxed. And then everything just falls behind schedule. Because when you miss the first slot, it affects the second slot, the third slot, the fourth slot. And then you now talk about your guests that are coming to your show, to your party, to your event, whatever event it is. I like using events as an example because it's what I do. So you now find out that, they turn up, they wait on the queue, they can't get in. And then by the time they get in, it may be you're 10, 20 minutes late. So that combination of the backstage being late and then the not opening on time, it just creates a very tense moment to start with. And the experience of the people who are coming, you've already affected part of their experience because their expectation is to be able to come and just have a great time. But you've made them wait 5-10 minutes. And that 5-10 minutes feels like an hour. You know how it is when you're on the queuing to buy something in the supermarket. That 5 minutes feels like forever. So I'll give another example. Like when we do our programs, our health programs, sometimes we go to villages and all the villages outside our catchment areas where we work in rural Africa. And I plan for the nurses and the doctors and everybody, and we plan both for the local ones, the ones that are traveling. I think I have to say this. I think one of my colleagues who's watching will just laugh when I tell this story. There was one program we did, and we're supposed to go to, I think, 3 or 4 communities. And we're supposed to leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I told the doctors and the nurses, listen, we're all meeting at this rendezvous point at 7:30. Because I didn't want to say 8 o'clock because I thought, okay, they might drag their feet and get there for half 8. So I said, let's get here for 7:30. So at least we can pray, we can have maybe a cup of tea or breakfast or something before we all leave. And everyone was like, okay, fantastic. We'll meet there at 7:30. We'll be there, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. The next morning, normally I get there about an hour early. So I was there I think I was about 5 minutes to 7. We're there in the van with my 2 other colleagues, all ready to go, all set up. And we're sitting there waiting and no one's turned up. And we look at the time, it's 7:45 and no one's turned up. And I'm starting to panic and I'm trying to tell to my colleague, listen, mate, can you please call these guys, man. What's happening? I did not come in. Then we started to see people started trickling. We were still at that station at 9:15. I ain't kidding you, man. And I'm like, where are you guys? We need to go. We're already late. And the thing is, we had planned the first community that we're going to be at for 9 o'clock. So because we're now already an hour and 15 minutes late, I now just say, listen, I can't be waiting for 5 people. So let's go. We'll leave another van. When they come, they'll come meet us at the community so we don't keep the people waiting. And when we got to the community, they were all sitting waiting for us and in a long queue. Luckily for us, the nurses that had gone ahead have started doing their bit, just to at least get all the physical checks done before the doctors arrive. So, excuse me. So that made that work. But the funny thing is, during the lunchtime, I now said to some of the colleagues, listen, guys, why were you guys late, man? Come on, I told you guys it was 7:30. Well, the guy said to me, man, you know what, Ronnie, next time, if you know that you want us to really leave at 8, tell us to be there for 6. So that way we know that at least by excuse my laughter. He said, tell us to be there for 6 o'clock. So we know if we come by, at least we'll be an hour and a half late. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that was just one good story. But I think it is important for you that you should value your time, because when you value your time, it helps you get more work done. You can plan and plan your work, and it doesn't mean everything you do is going to be perfect, but it just helps to reduce the stress. I find that one of the biggest things that really stresses me is if I don't write down what I want to do. For example, we had this marathon show which we did on Saturday, which was for 3 hours. And I wrote down everything, but the two things I didn't write down are the two people's name I didn't write down. When I did the change that I didn't write down correctly were the two names that I missed out. It just goes to show that you can plan and prepare, but if you have to create more time to put more effort into getting things done correctly. Also, I wrote down here, it helps you to stop putting things off. I think when you value time, you can write down all the things you want to do. And then that pressure is on you to know that, okay, I should have done number 2. I haven't done number 2 yet. I have to do number 2. I have to get number 2 done. Sorry, I just need to check my phone. I have to get number 2 done. And then okay, I think I need to call. We'll be back in 1 second. Actually, no. Let me just call Mr. Dammy and let's see if he's available to talk to us. It's a great day, great day, great day. So we keep marching on. We keep winning. Hi, Mr. Dammy. How are you?
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm very well. You live on air?
Oh, all right. How are you doing?
I am buzzing. Thank you for coming on. I know you had a very hectic weekend.
Yeah.
Listen, today we're talking about the value of time. So please introduce yourself before we go ahead.
As usual, my name is Adedamola Timothy, popularly known as Dami Timothy. I'm a pastor, a PR and a communication practitioner, a project manager, international conference speaker, life coach, and media personality.
Fantastic. Today we're talking about the value of time. How important is it for us to keep to time? Let's start with that.
Well, to me, time is a very, very great gift that we have. And it's very, may I say, we should actually handle time with great importance, because time determines a lot of things that do happen in our lives. If you want me to go deeper, we have all kinds of times, like all these Greek philosophers, as they distinguish rather time, between the chronos and the kairos. You understand? We want to go deeper into that. It makes time to be very, very important to us, because you have to hold time with a responsibility. You have to keep to time. You have to manage time well. You have to be able to look at the time to the way it will work for you. Because if you mess up with it, you may lose great things in life, in the sense that you may lose opportunities. When you say chronos, we mean the numbers of time, and when we say kairos, we mean those are Greek words anyway. When we say kairos, we mean the opportune time. And the second one is most important to men. Why? Because a lot of people don't know the time that their opportunity will be waiting for them. And if you don't make good use of time, you don't keep to time, you might lose your opportunity. And like we were saying the other time, that when you lose the opportunity, it's like a season. It may not be that you will not find it again. You might have to go and queue for another time and another season to get that opportunity, and it may be a long time. whereby all your mates and colleagues will have left you behind before you actually get the opportunity to do what you have to do. So time is very crucial. Time is very, very important. And that's the reason why I always tell people that whenever you wake up with an agenda and put time to your agenda. Schedule your day. And, we have this program is such a very, very good program. We've talked about so many things. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for running this kind of show. It's very educative. It's very enlightening. You understand? Because we've talked about opportunity. We've talked about holiday. And it's part of the time that we have to schedule, the time to recreate, the time to stay back and retreat and think. There's time for everything. There's time to sleep. There's time to study. There's time to hang out with friends. There's time to actually sit down with your goal. When you have to sit down with your goal at a time and you are running out or hanging out with friends, then you will pay for it. So once you be able to understand the way time works, you understand, you have to actually invest into the understanding of time. You understand? When I say understanding, I mean how time will work for you, so that at the end of the day, you will not run out of time to achieve what you need to achieve.
Sorry to interrupt you. I haven't done any kind of research, but I'm just wondering, there must be a significant difference between people who manage their time well and people who don't.
Sincerely speaking, Ronnie, the difference between the people who manage their time well and the people who don't manage their time well is success. I'm telling you, it's success, it's accomplishment. Its influence and significance. Because when you see people who sit down to manage their time, they are go-getters. They are able to actually maximize the moment. You understand? And have a go at whatever they have in plans to do, and at the end of the day, achieve it. Now, when they achieve it, they become so successful. You understand? But people who just treat time anyhow don't amount to anything. Why? Because they miss their opportunities to become something. They don't hit their targets. They don't achieve their goals. They don't even have objectives and aims for living. No purpose. Why? Because time is not well managed. Time is money, they say. Time is life. Let me tell you, nobody has lost anything until they lose time. So time is very, very important. You have to be very, in fact, like now, there are some things that I do outside of what I do now. A lot of people are very, very surprised that I keep to time. You know, but when I walk, I get to time. I get to walk before time. You understand? At least, I'm not saying anybody should do it, they cannot do it. Most especially, I get to walk 1 hour before time.
What?
Sincerely speaking, in fact, let me tell you something. A friend of mine was still asking me last week, and I lied to you not. You understand? That he said, Dami, how are you doing it? I said, look here, I don't see the 9 o'clock at the time of resumption. I said, it doesn't happen every day that I get to work 1 hour before time, but most day it does happen like that. Why? Because I set my mind that I'm supposed to resume 1 hour before time, so that I leave that 1 hour for eventuality or whatever thing that will have happened. So I am a very punctual person, and I don't leave my workplace immediately after the closing time. Why? Because I feel that, look here, there might be little things that you might have forgotten that you want to remember, except the door is going to be closed. Mind you, it does not happen every time. And I'm not saying this to, impress anybody. That is just my life. That's just the way I do my stuff. Now, I'm a media personality. My studio director, each time I'm going to record, I get to the studio 2 hours. I start three.
That's a bit much, man. Come on, man.
Let me
2 hours before your scheduled time. I'll leave. If that was me, I'll leave you outside. I'll give you a cup of tea. Say, go and walk about and come back.
No. They have a reception. I'm there.
Okay.
You understand? I settle down. I look at my notes again, my script again. I settle down, I put myself. You see, that's the reason why I say that. You see, some people, we are different from one another. The way your configuration, the way things work for you is different from the way things work for me. You understand? So for me, I'm such a very meticulous person. In my dealing with you, you understand that I ask a lot of questions. I want to know a lot of things. You understand what I'm saying? Even in the media, because you are one of the people who have always been helping me in this media stuff also, especially the one I do personally, the studio I have in my house, for my recordings and everything like that. So I like to know the details of everything, and I prepare very well before the time, because to fail to prepare is to prepare to fail. So time is so crucial.
I'm sorry we've run out of time because I didn't join you on time.
My God, oh my
yeah,
God. But I always struggle to come to this meeting. And at the end of the day, all right, no problem. That's okay. I know other people have to talk.
I'll speak to you next week. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, bye. Amazing. Okay, we'll go over to trust. We have to keep to time. I think timing, there's a lot of impact that ensuring that you are on time generates. I feel there's a lot of benefits that you can help you to.
Hello.
Hi, Trust. Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Hello, Ronnie. How are you doing?
It feels like just yesterday we were talking on air.
Yes. Have you recovered?
And yes, I have. A little bit. I'm still a bit tired, but I'm a little bit okay.
Oh, my God. I was wondering, how do you do it? I mean, it's just like all the way through. You did 3 hours, didn't you?
3 hours
on Saturday.
straight. 3 hours straight. But it's all good. Introduce yourself, Doctor, before we go ahead.
Okay, all right. Okay, my name is Dr. Trust Boikanyo. I'm a lifestyle specialist. Business. I work with people who want to improve their lifestyle. I also do crisis counseling, and I'm also passionate about giving back to my community.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right, we're talking about the value of time. So I hope that members of your community are watching, so they could really value and respect time. So go ahead.
Hopefully. Yeah.
So what do you think about the topic?
It's an important one, because to master time is to master life. So I would say, let's not waste our time. Let's master our time, because then we will master our life. Like what Ade was saying, it's all about planning, really. Because I like the quote he gave at the end: by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail, by Benjamin Franklin. So I would say, start by having a long-term vision. Smart goals, like we talked about smart goals, Look within, be aligned with your purpose. What is your why, your motivation? What's your passion? What makes you happy? Identify what matters in your life. Because in order to be successful, first, you must work on yourself. Create what I call an inner economy. It's an inside job. Now, for you to best plan your schedules, you must develop success habits. All successful people have the habits. And one of the important things they've mastered is mastering their time effectively. Because when you know how to manage your time, then you will know how to manage other aspects of your life, including money. For example, people cry that they don't have enough money and this and that. This is because of lack of planning, and it starts with managing your own time. Being consistent with these success habits, you develop them, you become consistent, and then you are grateful. You become grateful in your everyday life. You will see an improvement. I'm telling you, this is what I do. Before this personal development journey, I did not master my time properly. I did not do what I needed to do. Now that I've learned how to master my time, I find things easier. I know how to do things very easily. And it's very easy for me to also set goals, set smart goals. Yeah.
I think one thing that I've also found is that because if I write the things down that I want to do and the time that I want to kind of complete them and do them, if I don't achieve it at that time, I feel under pressure. Or if I'm doing anything else that's really not productive, I just feel like there's just pressure on me that, Ronnie, this is not really productive. Go back and go. You haven't done that thing. You haven't done that thing. I think because of the habit. So your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you won't feel under pressure because you've now developed those habits, and now everything. It's like you make things easier for yourself by simply living by the standards that you've set up. And even if something goes wrong, you know how to manage it because you've learned how to manage yourself. If you get what I mean, you know. So life, if well lived, is long enough. So if you live your life well by simply managing yourself, simply managing your time, you will feel it's worth it. You will. Yeah.
I talked at the beginning of the show. I talked about my experience of a program I did in Africa that had the African time attached to it. So, any examples about African time?
Yeah, lots of examples. I mean, you know, I also ran events, hosted events.
Yes.
And it's typical of our African sisters and brothers to come late. And in most events that I've attended of our African and African brothers, they've all started late anyway. So, yes, I've got lots of examples. And it's like we do not respect time. And this is why everything escalates and goes wrong. Things go wrong because we do not respect time. We do not value time. I like what Ade said, that time is a gift. We don't see this as a gift. Therefore, we don't respect it. And if you don't respect it, everything becomes chaos. And people who do not respect time, they run into all sorts of things because, you know, it starts with managing your time.
So how can we, what can we as individuals anywhere around the world, what simple things can we put in place to help us manage our time better?
It's very simple. If you start by managing your day, for example, your day will also lead you to weeks, months, years, etc., etc. For example, I've talked about Ivy Lee's strategy before, which is the strategy I use. I create a nightly to-do list, and then I arrange tomorrow's 6 most important tasks by priority. Start at the top list the next morning, then work down the list, and then I repeat. I mean, this is one of the simple things that one can do. I like ticking my to-do list after I've done it. I mean, this is a habit, one of the habits that one can adopt that work. But of course, we're different. Everybody can do their own way of managing time. But either way, stick to your time management.
Your schedule,
your schedule, and if you're consistent with what you do, you will reap rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
I agree with you. One of our guests that's coming on, she lives with she's got like this diary that she lives with that diary, which is really good. I wish I can do that, but I'm getting there. I just use my computer, but I think it's quite good to have a diary.
But you know what? Don't stress. I don't even use a diary myself. But whatever works for you, because you will know as you keep doing things, you will know what works best for you and what doesn't.
That's true.
Yeah, because we're all different. Just because someone keeps a diary and it works for them doesn't mean that it will work for you.
That's true. So tell us, before we go, just round up about your project. The last time we met, you had a community Zimbabwe program. Are you doing that this year? You're not sure?
Pardon?
Yeah, go on.
Which project?
Hello?
Sorry, are you talking about the COVID-19 project?
No, there was a Zimbabwe community party you did up in West London. Was that 2 years ago? One evening.
Right. Okay, those kind of events. I mean, because of the COVID-19 now.
Okay.
I mean, we have we have other things planned up. We've just wrapped up the COVID-19 project, and we're looking into more. Everything now has to change, so we need to replan, looking at the situation, what's going on, and we might not even do things the way we used to do before.
Yeah.
So it depends on the what happens, the outcome.
Thank you so much, Doctor, and always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. You're a star. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Right.
Take care, Dele.
You too. Bye. Bye.
All right, fantastic. We're going to go over to our next guest. It's a simple message. If you manage your time well, you get the best out of the day. I think that's the simplest way I can put it. If you manage your time well, you get the best out of the day. You get the best out of the day. If you don't manage your time well, the whole day becomes stressful and disorganized. Even if it's 2 things that you plan better, that I've planned these 2 things. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, Ronnie.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What's that about? I'm like, he's on here. I don't want to not say it back. It's so
Every
funny.
day's a new year. You're welcome to the show.
Oh, bless. Thank you for having me.
No worries, man. Introduce yourself, dear.
So my name's Sabrina Salmi. I am a business and personal development coach. I'm really, really passionate about inspiring families to dream big together. And I'm the mother of 5 entrepreneurial children who are published authors, and they're publishers themselves.
Fantastic. We're talking about the value of time today. I know. Give us the overview before we continue.
Overview. We often hear that time is money, right? Time is time and money is money. And we all have the same 24 hours in the day, but the question is, what do you choose to do with it?
So I was drinking water while you were talking, so...
That's okay. I was like, oh, you are so funny today. You've caught me off guard. I love that.
Okay. So right, now, how important is it to schedule your day? Let's start from
Absolutely important. Yeah, we don't get things done unless we commit to doing it. So the way I look at scheduling is my commitment to making it happen. So it's not flaky, it's not up in the air, it's committed. It's in the diary, it's going to take place.
You've emphasized something there. It's in the diary, it's going to take place. So once you've written it down, it commits you not to procrastinate or to push it forward to another day. You're committed to getting it done, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the difference that makes the difference between having an idea and action steps, right? So having that level of commitment really does generate wondrous results.
So is there a difference? I was talking to Ade at the beginning of the show, and the question that I asked him was, what is the difference between somebody who values time and somebody who doesn't?
It's an interesting one, because some people say if you're always late, you don't value time, but then you don't know what their circumstances are. But a person that values time really has a strict way of you being a part of their time. They choose who they spend their time with. So I know lots of my mentors have been very pinnacle in my life, teaching me how to value my time, teaching me that it's family first and everything else takes you away from family, so protect it as a sacred energy and space. So people that value time, they would choose who there's around, they would choose what they say yes to, and they're very good at saying no.
So is there a difference between in wealth and success, people who value time and people who don't?
Oh God, absolutely. They don't meet with everybody. People who value time, I would say, are so much more successful. They're very purposeful with what they allow to be in their sphere, and the results are evident in that sense. People that don't, I guess, and it's no judgment on whether they're good or bad. It's more so that they don't get things done enough, and they spend a lot of their time in environments they don't need to be in. Because look, here's the thing, if I don't live my life with purpose and on purpose, I end up just going where the crowd goes, right? Like you just, they're over here, you're like a leaf in the wind. So people that value their time, they live life on purpose and with purpose, and they choose to spend their time wisely because they realize it's the most precious and priceless commodity.
I like the saying that says you just flow where the wind blows. You know, blows to the left, go to the left.
That's dangerous, yeah.
Oh man, that is
very dangerous.
For me though, as I was saying earlier on, if I write the things down that I want to do, and I've got things that I want to do, you know, I'm on some projects at the moment.
Yes.
If I'm working towards that project, if I'm doing anything outside that, I just feel so uncomfortable.
Because the level of commitment, right? You know, you've committed to it, so everything else is a distraction. It's like, well, you start weighing up, like, how do I need to be doing this? And that's the golden nugget.
Like today, I just said, listen, let me just switch off. I put on the TV for like 20 minutes. After 10 minutes, just watching the TV, I just felt guilty, like, you shouldn't be watching TV.
Oh, the shift's happened, isn't it? I love that. No, it happens to all of us. They say that people that have a wealthy mindset have large libraries and small TVs or no TV at all, or they have a theatre room that they go to with friends. And people that don't value time, they have little to no library and spend most of the time sat in front of TV. So it's a good way to just assess, like, how am I spending my day? And they are two very good indicators.
I like that. So on a very simple way, could you help my audience, give them some advice? What can they do to make them maximize the time that they have? Okay,
so number one, and I better quote my son because he would tell me off if he hears this. So Paolo says to me all the time, Mummy, start with why. If you do not start with why, it's a waste of time. So number one, start with why. Like, why is this project? Why are you setting up that project, Ronnie? What's the why behind it? Sabrina, why are you doing this, working on this or working in this role? So number one, listeners, start with why. Think about what's the why, not the how, not the what, the why. Number two, if you don't have one already, get some sort of calendar system, maybe Google calendars, a diary, whatever it is. Get something that's tangible that everything goes into. And number three, learn to make your yes be yes and your no be no. So be very selective as to how you're spending your time. And I think that 3-step system would be enough to start creating change in your life.
It's very important that you said that. Learn for your yes to be yes and no to be no, because you won't believe the amount of distractions you get.
Yes, and you get better quality problems, right? So often I'm presented, as a family, we're presented by so many different opportunities. And remember, no doesn't mean I don't like. It just means that it's just a no, and you don't have to explain it, right? Yeah, exactly. It could be an array of things. So the more you realize the sovereignty and the sacredness of your time and your life and who you are and the vision that you've got, you are able to say yes because you know what the yes is. You know what you're looking for. You're also open to, maybe it will show up differently, but you know when to say no, because when your gut instinct tells you that, you will follow through. So I think it's so important. And that really protects the sacredness of your time.
It does. It just takes my mind back to yesterday evening. I had a little meeting with a gentleman from Asia, and the proposal was so fantastic and everything, but I just said, sorry, I have to say no at the moment. Because and he couldn't believe I was saying no. I was just like, it's just not the right time for me. If I take on this project, it would take 50% of my time. And I don't have 50% of my time, and I don't have people. So it's just, we can put it on hold for another 1 year. And I think he valued and respected that.
The interesting thing around that, and I'm just saying this to you because of what you've raised, is that there is 2 layers to that. So if you wanted to do it but didn't have the time, you would say something around, like, what would need to happen in order for this to be a reality for me? Make sense? Yeah, so it may be a case of having a team to enable you to leverage. So it really is being in touch with the spirit. If it's no, it's no. Like, that's okay. But if it's time dependent, don't make decisions dependent on time. Your time is sacred.
Yeah.
But does that make sense? Because we all got 24 hours in the day, right? So if we depend it on time, we're going to go, well, there isn't enough time. But does it have to be you? It doesn't mean that you taking on opportunities, it has to be you. So that's something that we've really learned, is how can I leverage my time? It doesn't need to be me, but if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. That's okay.
I strongly believe that there is a time and season for everything.
Yes.
I strongly believe that at the right time, you take the opportunity and you run with it.
Yes.
But if you take something on at the wrong time, you're just going to mess it up and you're just going to crash. Good.
Yeah, and you know that, and it's good that you know that about yourself, and that's also a lesson in itself, right, to the listeners, is that when you know thyself, you know what's for you.
Exactly. So what's happening with Sabrina this year? Anything new coming up?
Oh, some things I can't talk about. Yeah, no, we are working on some phenomenal things, and I'm not just saying that. We are working on some phenomenal things in the backdrop. So it really is a case of watch this space. But in all honesty, some of the things we're working on, you'll never know that we're a part of it. But just being proud to be able to touch the lives of so many people for generations to come as a result of some of the things that we're involved in. Yasmin's just published a book. I think I mentioned that already. Paolo's just about ready to publish his next one, and everyone else is writing. So just creativity. You know, sometimes let's take the pressure off needing to be more, do more, and have more, and just learn to simply be, listeners. Learn to surrender to the organic unfoldment of life, and things will start showing up.
Congratulations for your success, man. Looking forward to seeing you at the top, sitting there and say, "Listen, Sabrina, pour me some water. I need to drink."
I'm ready there. No, we've already got a relationship, and it's already happened. You see, remember, everything's perception. We think that.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm just. I know, but you know, we got that relationship. But thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Have a good one.
God bless. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll keep driving on. We'll go over to our next guest. I love this, you know. It's like it's having sweet conversations and you're learning. And I hope you're enjoying the show and you're learning as we go along. I hope you're getting some tips from there. You say, what's your why? Get a calendar, learn to say yes and learn to say no. It's not everybody that comes to you with £1 million. And you go, yes, give it to me, give it to me. Sometimes it could be the wrong time, okay? There is a time and season for everything. Right, let's go over to Sola. Here we go. This is good. Don't worry, from tomorrow you get everyone on video tomorrow. I think Monday I haven't makeup on yet, you know, so. Yes, I think I have. Good.
Hello.
Hi, Sola, how you doing?
I'm very well, Ronnie. How are you?
I am buzzing. I am tired. You're live on air, but we keep going.
Brilliant, brilliant. Great to hear from you again anyway.
Oh, dear. Well, amazing. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yes, I did, Ronnie. I did. I hope yours was well. I saw a topic you had up there. Unfortunately, I couldn't log in, but I had a kind of rested one with the family and so forth. So
yes.
I'm raring to go this week anyway.
Amazing. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sola. I'm the founder and CEO of an organization, a youth organization called Real Talk Mentors. Yeah, so we specialize in motivating young people and identifying what their needs are with a view to unlocking their potential. We have a little slight on it now whereby we do some mentoring with men and look at, what affects our role as men in the community so that we can be also effective for a generation coming up.
Fantastic.
I'm a father also, and a grandfather, and as usual, a husband to one wife.
Yeah.
I've got to make sure I get that bit in. See.
Today we're talking about the value of time.
Sure.
So we just wanted to get your take on why should we value time, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, look, time is so valuable, isn't it? We hear these quips that time waits for nobody, and time is such a valuable commodity, isn't it, Ronnie? I mean, once it goes, how do we kind of redeem it? What I try and do, I'll give you a little sort of a brief rundown. I mean, in terms of time, and then from my daily routine kind of thing, I obviously get up. I try and make sure that I give my body the amount of sleep it needs, as opposed to what it wants. Before, I used to find myself wasting time that way because, when you're sort of starving the body, it can kind of be counterproductive. So I make sure that's one of my key things. Now I really look at sleep as not as a waste of time, but as a necessity, something that we need to obviously power us through the day.
Do you sleep roughly on average?
I would say I need to be productive as I am, probably between 5 and 6 hours run. Anything longer, anything more than that, I become a bit jaded. So I like to keep kind of sharp. 5 to 6 hours, 5 at a minimum, 6 sort of maximum. Anything above that is just then we go, we go another.
I'm trying to calculate. I think I sleep about 7 hours. So 7 hours is good. I need 7 hours sleep, man. Otherwise, I'll just crash.
Yeah. You see, that's it. So it goes back to what we need, isn't it? So you said you need 7. Yeah, I need at least the 5. If I'm having 5, I'm good. I'm just brilliant. 6, I'm comfortable. Yeah. So it's about what we need. And then what I try and do again, making use of the time. So I exercise while I'm sort of having a devotion. I have like my sort of Bible devotion in the morning. Yeah. And what I'll do, I'll have that online while I'm doing some exercise. So I'm exercising my body and my mind, spiritually as well. And then that gives him a good kickstart for the day, And then I'm kind of raring to go. So I think that, with that time, with that kind of perspective, knowing that how valuable it is, I'm able then to kind of identify what the potential outcome is likely to be for that day. So if I don't do those things, those sort of little routine in the mornings and so forth, I know that my time is going to kind of drag and it's not going to be as sharp and effective. Yeah, like for example, I knew that I was coming online with you today. Yeah. So I know that calls that I've arranged, before this time, they're in a kind of not so much regimented, but things are in a kind of order. Yeah, so that I can really make the best use of my time. Time I then need to spend with my, with my daughters, with my family and so forth, my wife. Sit down and plan, and it is so important because that just gives an overall good look, doesn't it? Your general running.
I'm going to put you on the spot now. Sorry to interrupt you because this program is watched across the world and also in Nigeria and Kenya. Yeah. Why a majority of Africans who live in Africa don't keep to time?
You know what, Ryan? That's something that I'm still baffled with myself. It's something that, seriously, it's something that I kind of have a dig about it myself, to be honest. I'm like, why do we do this? Because I believe there's a kind of what we call it, an appointed time for everything. And I think that if we miss those timings, I think that kind of sends everything out of sync. So to answer your question, Ronnie, I don't know why we do it. It really kind of winds me up, to be honest. It really kind of gets me.
I've done programs in different countries in Africa, and it's the same thing. Some countries, some cultures are worse than the others. And I remember there was a program that we did in a country in East Africa. I don't want to mention names so they don't go and raid our office, And we're doing this program, and then I was trying to tell the health workers to go quicker so we can start on time, and they got upset. And they got upset, they sent the chief to come meet me and say, "Listen, Ronnie, you're harassing the people." And I was like, "Really?"
Wow. I just wanted to they probably think that's a kind of alien way to do things, isn't it? Like when you come from over and we go back home. When they call it sort of I don't know, kind of English exactly, the African time. And seriously, now that you brought that up, I think it's something we really need to look into ourselves.
Yes, of course,
to change. Because
I've made a decision that since the George Floyd issue. If there's anything bothering me that I want to speak about, I'm going to speak about it. I'm not going to be afraid to talk about things politically correct, because I'm not. The whole idea is to educate people, because we keep putting plaques over the cracks. And
that's right.
And it's affecting.
That's right.
The biggest. But if you look at, we have time. I'll give you more time.
Yes, okay.
If you look at the programs and projects that ethnic minorities, especially those from Africa, are trying to put in place, time is a bigger problem.
It is. It really is. Ronnie, you're so right. So I'm glad to be part of this conversation and having it been beamed out like this, because hopefully, then our people will really, start to see it as a key issue, and stop looking at the other stuff, because we really need to start looking into ourselves, for change and progress to happen. It's a time. Look, time waits for nobody, as we said at the beginning, and if we hold back on stuff, we're not guaranteed that you can have that time tomorrow to do what you didn't do. Does that make sense? In the time that you've got. So why not do it and do it effectively? Why not do it, consciously and professionally, so that that mark is made. And it's done and dusted, isn't it? You're not kind of backtracking.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things is, if you ask, we're using this segment now, this 5-10 minutes, to talk about specifically to African and Africans and minorities who live in this country and who live in Africa. This is your segment.
Sure.
So whatever you're watching, this is your segment. The reason why you don't keep to time, there's pride in there. I'll tell you why there's pride in there. Your friend is organizing, somebody's is getting married, and the wedding starts at 10. You don't get there till 11:30, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Yeah. Why? Because you feel if I get there first, people are going to look at me thinking, oh, it's too early. If I get there when it's already packed, everyone's going to start greeting me, hey, big chief, you've arrived. Hey.
It's terrible though. Yeah, it's terrible. You see, and that's where that's what we call that word selfish. You're selfish.
Yeah.
You're more directing this thing to yourself as opposed to where you've been invited to. So you're not really.
Yeah, go on.
No, go on, right? Say it.
Now, I was going to say, it runs down to the children, to generation after generation.
Yes.
They're starting to believe they don't have the value for time. So if you don't have the value for time, it affects your productivity, it affects your planning, it affects your organization. So when you now travel out of Africa to a developed country, you struggle because you can't understand why your manager is upset with you that you're 5 minutes late. And you're like, I'm only 5 minutes late.
You know what, Ronnie? you know what, Ronnie? As you said, there, look, you know what? I hate being late. You know what? I'd rather not. I'd rather not go to the place that I'm invited to if I'm late. I'm a person where I always like to get there early. I'll set my time in. I'll project everything around getting there. So if I need to say, if I need to be with you at 4. I'm going to make sure my zone, I'm zoning in at 3:30 and I'll be there waiting, because it's just to collect oneself, maybe gather one's thoughts, see your environment, all this thing of all the rushing. Obviously, look, there are some times that we can't help being late, but I think if you're intentional about using the time,
you can't be late 3-4 times a week or even twice a week. That's a bit much.
Well, then that's deliberate, then, isn't it? If you're doing it like that, that means you don't really care about how your time's going and about the other person, really, doesn't it? It's so as I said, it goes back to oneself.
You get more respect. For example, now let's come back to the UK now. That's enough talking to Africans. I hope you got the gist if you're watching from Nigeria, Kenya, and Ethiopia. I hope you got the gist. Okay. Next time I come back, see buy me my drink though. Don't have a go with me.
They'll be waiting for you. Make sure they don't wait for me.
They're watching now and they're just laughing. I know you're going to say this because it cracks me up every time. And there was a guy who was having an event in the UK, right?
Yeah.
And he invited me as a speaker. And I'm not going to mention the kind of event because if I mention people just know they'll connect it. So I said, what time do you want me to come and speak? And he said, get there for 5:30. I said, fine. I got there at 5 o'clock. So I just drove so I could park my car in the car park because I don't want to get into traffic and all that. So I just parked my car, just reading my book. Would you believe that there was nobody at the venue at 5 o'clock?
You probably thought you were in the wrong place.
The whole building was still shut as if nothing is happening. And I'm like, I had to call the guy. I said, listen, guy, is this thing? He said, yeah. I said, what time do you want me? I said, I'm already here. He said, no. He said, no, you have to go back. You have to come back. Please come back around 7. I said, but you told me my time was 5:30. God.
No, but you see, Ronnie, this. I mean, it's a say, like you say, it crosses over the oceans, doesn't it? Look, we did my mother's. So I celebrated my mother's 80th last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously we did the invitations. You do the whole RSVP bit and so forth. And Ronnie, I had to consciously put even though the thing didn't start till maybe like 6:30, 7. I had to put 4 p.m. on the invitations.
Exactly.
Knowing that.
That's a common. That's a norm. You have to put 3 or 4 hours ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing that people, and even then, even with that, Ronnie, people still said, no, they haven't done it like this. They know that 6, really, it's not going to start till 6, which means that we then don't need to get there till around 7, 8.
Even 9.
So like you say, you just think time. Is the time valued? You see, so it's something that definitely we need to really look at.
You've given me some more energy and cheered me up. So thanks. It's a pleasure talking to you.
I'll back you up on that all the way, Ronnie. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
You take care. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Oh, great show. Sometimes we need to just have a laugh and just enjoy the show. And in the process of having a laugh, we make sense. And so I hope you enjoyed the show today. Today we talk about the value of time. Please plan your time well. Especially as adults, your kids are watching what you do. If you don't turn up on time, your children get used to that habit of not turning up on time. If you don't chase them to make sure they catch the bus, it's not okay to be late for school. It's not okay to be late to church. It's not okay to be late for invitations. Once you get that doctrine into their head, they understand and begin to value time. If you're supposed to be somewhere at 5, get there for 5. Don't get there 10 past 5, 20 past 5. Get there 5 minutes to 5 or 5 o'clock. Don't be late. Just discipline yourself. Listen, I am going to take this lateness out of my schedule. Let that be your 2020 resolution, whatever's left of this year. Because I tell you, if you value your time, you get more out of the day. If you value your time, you get more out of your day. It's as simple as that. And when you get more out of your day, you get more closer and closer to your dream. The more you engage with, hi Janet Laka, I see you there. Thank you so much. I would have called you, but I'll give you a call tomorrow on the show, on the live show tomorrow. Thanks for come joining us. And thanks, Mary Paul. I also see your comments. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. So you get more out of your day because of your planning, because of your value for time. You see, I didn't really want to go too much into how to maximize your time or how the best way to plan your time. We just brushed over it. I just wanted to highlight the value of time. When you value time, you make sure that whatever you say you want to do, you commit to doing it, because you know that if I don't do this thing within this hour, I'm going to lose that 1 hour that I'll never get back. And I'm going to struggle for the rest of the day. So for me, I don't know if you heard the example that I gave, that there was a project I was supposed to be involved in that I kind of put forward. There is a time and season for everything. When you have too many things that you've got your hands involved in, there's only so much that you can do. So what you do, you have to go with your spirit and go with your heart and say, listen, I'm a Christian, so I pray. And I ask God, say, God, can I do this now? And I go with my spirit and he tells me, nah, just hold on. There's a time and season for it. Because you'll be better a year from now to execute that thing better. I was working in a company a long time ago, and there's one thing that they trained me and they taught me. You can be set up to fail. You can also set yourself up to fail. So be careful. Not every opportunity that comes your way, you just got to grab it and run with it. You have to value your time and know that, listen, if I do this, am I not going to set myself up to fail? Am I valuing enough time? Do I have enough time to walk around to execute this? Lateness is horrible. It's disrespectful when you're late. When they invite you to somewhere and you're late, you've already lost, I think, to me, you've lost my confidence. If you can't respect time, then how are you going to respect the value of what you want to produce? Anyway, and for those Africans watching there, forgive me, but I had to say, African time, we have to get rid of that. You know, it affects so much of our lives and so many other things. I wish you all the best as you're watching anywhere in the world, and thank you for your support and thank you for your love always. Together, we are making a difference. Together, we keep talking to each other, helping, educating each other consistently. This is our 8th week now running for this program. 8 weeks already. Before you know, we've done 1 year. Just like that. Yeah? I wish above all things that you prosper in what you do. Never let anyone tell you you're not good enough. When it's hard for you to keep going, that's when you should start running. When it's difficult for you to keep going, that's when you should start running. When you feel you can't do it anymore, that's when you should stand up and start running. When you feel all your energy, your heart, your motivation, everything is dying, that's when you start running. When you feel that, oh man, I want to give up. I can't do this anymore. This is frustrating. Oh, that's when you start running. Because that is when the breakthrough is just around the corner. Success is easy for those who never give up, and difficult for those who always complain and always procrastinate and postpone. No, don't give up. Just keep going. Get motivation from when it's hard. So medicine is hard. I can't come to do this show today. I'm so tired. No. Do it. So at the end, you get that buzz, that energy, that feeling that, yes, I did this again today. Together, we shall succeed together. We'll make it. We'll keep going. We'll keep pushing. We'll keep lifting each other up. And we'll get to the end together. God bless you, man. I wish you all the best. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and continue to support our charity. God bless you, man. Thank you so much to the amazing Sabrina. Thank you, Trust. Thank you, Ade, and thank you, Ayo, for all your great support. Really appreciate you all for your support, and I wish you all the best. Have a great day. Thank you.